the dopamine detox in a shiny new wrapper with the same goal of helping entrepreneurs actually do the fucking work. But the problem with these one-size-fits-all solutions is they don't actually work in the way they should for the majority of people that try them. And that's because the real problem is a lot deeper than that. Imagine if you went to the doctors and you had a cough and you said, "Sir, I need something to sort this cough out." He said, "Don't worry, I had a cough myself last week. Take this red pill. It sorted me out, it'll sort you out." So you take the red pill, 2 weeks later, you've still got this cough. It's getting worse and worse. It's manifesting inside of you. Now the problem here is the doctor had the flu, but you've got a chest infection. But you blindly took the cure to an issue that you didn't actually diagnose first of all. Now I'm sure you're thinking, well, I wouldn't find myself in that position in real life. But that's the exact position that the majority of people find themselves in the self-help space right now. They will take cures for issues that they haven't yet diagnosed within themselves. They will blindly follow in the footsteps of others because they're in the position that they want to be in, dismissing who they actually are as a person and dismissing all of the other reasons there could be for not actually being able to do the fucking work. Fear of failure, anxiety, lack of motivation, lack of focus, procrastination, overwhelm, and just unrealistic expectations of what results they can get in what time frame. There are so many reasons as to why people haven't got their feet off the ground yet. So many issues that they haven't diagnosed within themselves. Because most people don't yet realize that the only person that can truly help them is themselves. And the way that we can do that is through practicing self-awareness. Self-awareness is the act of consciously analyzing ourselves, our thoughts, our feelings, how our body is, how our mind is, how we react to things. It's introspection on all levels. And it's something that I've practiced for many, many years now. And it's enabled me to truly dial in on real self-development. I think so many people are at danger of depending on other people to create their character, to develop themselves for them. And that begs the question, are you actually developing yourself? Or are you morphing yourself into someone else entirely? Last year, I had a lull period when I just lost motivation for the gym. I really struggled to get myself back into it. I took a week off, then it turned into a month, then it turned into 2 months. And I really struggled to bring myself to pulling myself back into the gym and get in there. And so what I did was I thought, do you know what? Right, what can I do? I need to do a self-audit. I need to analyze myself right now and really establish what it is about going to the gym I'm not enjoying right now, what's stopping me from actually doing the work. And so over a 2-week period, I started journaling, answering questions about the gym, writing down the things that I wasn't enjoying, the things that were stopping me, the internal dialogue, the bullshit I was telling myself on a daily basis as to why I couldn't actually go. So after these 2 weeks, being back in the gym, doing this self-audit, I had this mass of notes, this brain dump from these mornings of going to the gym. And I looked for common denominators across those notes, and I found 3 main points. Number 1, most mornings I was really tired. I actually struggled with the physical motivation to drag myself to drive to the gym. Number 2, I wasn't tracking progress, so I couldn't actually see my results on a session-by-session basis. And number 3, I didn't really feel any pressure to be lifting heavy weights. Life's good, business doing well, made a few mil, I look quite good, I'm quite happy, I feel healthy. And I just didn't really feel any pressure to be overexerting myself. I wanted to take a bit of time off, but that time has to come to an end. And so I took those 3 things and I wrote them down. And I came up with bespoke solutions to those individual issues that I was facing. Feeling tired in the morning, simple one. I actually started going to bed at 11 p.m. and I was usually going to bed at 9, 10 o'clock, so I just moved my sleep forward again. So I did that and obviously I felt more refreshed in the morning. Second thing, tracking results, simple. I downloaded an app on iPhone called Trainerize. I could then track how much I was lifting every week and I could see the progress on a day-by-day basis, which was cool. And then the third thing was that lack of kind of pressure. And I thought, do you know what, like in the moment, I feel really cushy at the moment. Let me see if I can seek that externally. So I hired an external trainer who then managed my nutrition, habits, and all of my workouts. And if I wasn't making progress, if I wasn't pushing myself every week, he could see that on the app and he could send me a message, give me an earful so I could gain that motivation and piggyback that motivation off somebody else. So I created solutions to the problems that I was facing myself. I developed myself and got myself through that rut of lack of motivation in going to the gym without having to search on YouTube, how do I find motivation to go to the gym? I diagnose myself and I use self-awareness to overcome that solution, which is exactly what all of you guys need to do right now if you are struggling to put in the work in whatever area of your life. And I want to help you do that. And so what I've done is I've got my laptop next to me. I spent a bit of time earlier writing and creating a self-audit for you so you can raise your self-awareness and start being more introspective. So this is a Google form, and the use case here is really for somebody who's trying to start a business right now. Maybe you've already got one and you're struggling to do the daily micro monotonous work that's going to take you to actually achieving those macro goals. Okay, and I want you to do this for between 1 and 2 weeks, and make sure you do this at the end of every single day. Don't do this the day after for the day before. It needs to be with your raw emotion, how you feel on that specific day, and be as specific as possible. Let me run you through this. So first of all, how motivated was I throughout the day? Okay, so on a scale of 1 to 10, how motivated do you feel? What motivated me the most today and why? Now, over the course of this period, okay, we're going to start to understand what are our triggers that actually motivate us. And if we can do more of those things, or we can focus our time more around the things that motivate us, that's a massive win. Did I experience any fear or anxiety today? What was it and how did I respond to it? Are there any specific tasks that you're working on a daily basis right now that trigger those fears? Okay, and if there are, we can analyze that and create solutions for it. How long was I able to focus on a single task without distractions? Okay, now this really is so you can establish what your working blocks are. I think that most human beings work their most productive when they are in working blocks. Some people, this is 20 minutes, some people, this is 90 minutes, and at the end of that block, we set a timer, and you can then take like a 5-10 minute break, go for a walk or something along those lines, and just refresh yourselves. So this is going to allow you to analyze that. Did I procrastinate any tasks? And if so, why? What did I do? So are there any trigger tasks that are making us procrastinate? And then more importantly, what did I actually do to procrastinate? Did I pick up my phone, look through social media? If that is an issue for you, and it's not an issue for everyone, but if it's an issue for you and you see that on this data, then you're going to need to turn off your phone and you're going to need to put it in another room, put it in a safe, or just delete your social media apps, okay? Did I feel any knowledge gaps today, and if so, what were they? This is relevant for those of you that are starting a business right now. There will be some areas or some things that you're trying to achieve on a daily basis, and you're like, hit that brick wall. I don't know how to do this. So if there are any of those things, write them down, and over the course of a couple of weeks, you're going to have a learning list. Okay, and then you can filter out all the bullshit information that you're looking for online, all those videos you're watching, and only focus on the information that you actually feel knowledge gaps on based on the practical work that you need to do. Did I experience any feeling of being overwhelmed, and what caused it? Maybe you're trying to tackle some really big tasks right now and they're completely overwhelming you every time you try and tackle them. So you might need to break them down into micro instead to make it a bit more manageable until you're used to that task. How did my actual performance compare to my expectations for today? This is a really important question that you need to ask yourself on a regular basis. I think so many of us, I'm going to go over to this camera again for a moment. I think so many people have unrealistic expectations as to the results they can get within a certain time frame. I know in my industry, the agency industry, people think that they can call up 20 businesses, get one meeting, close that client straight away. And that's because so many people make them believe it's going to be that easy. The truth is it's going to take a lot longer than that. But if you are led to believe and you have the false expectation when you're coming to start off, when you actually start doing the work and you've plucked up the courage to do the grit and you don't get the results you expect, you lose motivation massively. So make sure you actually track that. If there's anything that doesn't meet your expectations, write that down, because we can then manage our expectations and change the narrative that we tell ourselves later down the line. Was there anything unexpected that happened during the day that impacted my performance? Sometimes shit just happens, right? Maybe your partner's come home, started talking to you for ages, you get distracted. Maybe you've had to go drop someone off. Maybe just anything can happen, right? The dog's shit on the rug and you need to clean it up and it takes you out of flow. Shit happens, right? And if you log that and at the end of the week you haven't made the progress that you wanted to make, you're not going to hold yourself so accountable to it because you know that things have just got in the way. Life got in the way. So log those things as well so you can actually give yourself a break. And finally, what from today am I most proud about? This doesn't have to be big things, it can also be very small, and this will build a positive relationship with the work that you're doing and the achievements, the micro wins that you're facing on a daily basis. So guys, if you do this for 1 to 2 weeks, you're going to have a pool of data. Once you've got that, you can analyze and find common denominators across the answers on here. And this will allow you to establish the real problems that you're facing, the real things that are standing in your way of getting the results that you want, of being successful, of starting your business, of scaling your company, whatever that is, right? And maybe you'll find that it's procrastination. And at which point you might want to do a dopamine detox. But at least you can then do that knowing factually that is the thing that is standing in your way because you have diagnosed it yourself using self-awareness and true self-development. Guys, I want to leave you with this final note. I truly believe that once you yourself, by yourself, are a success, everything you touch will be successful. So if there was one thing that you can practice throughout 2023, it is true self-awareness. So try this self-audit out and let me know how you get on in the comments. See you soon. Cheers.